How's it? Welcome back. So, off-topic video, first of all, but I was listening to one of my favorite podcasts this morning, that being the official PlayStation podcast that I've been listening to since episode 1, actually, and so I was interested to see like when it all started. And so I just looked it up now. It started way back in 2011. So I've been listening to it for a very long time, but on today's episode, they were pointing out how on the PS5 you can go to your profile and you can look up your stats, such as your most played video games. And I thought, shit, that's a cool idea. I think I'll cover that too. Kind of a bummer thing though is that it looks like it only pulls your stats from since the PS4 and it doesn't go back to the PS3 days. And in particular, I wanted to see my stats for Battlefield 3 because that's like one of my favorite games ever, and I played a ton of it, but it doesn't pull that information. But also that wouldn't really be on my current profile, because like back when the PS3 first came out and I created my first PlayStation account, I had like the most ridiculous name imaginable, and back then like you couldn't change your PSN ID name. And so then like as I got older and I realized there was no way in hell I could have that name anymore, I had to reluctantly, make a brand new account. I still have that old account, which is why I know it doesn't pull any PS3 data, because that's the account my older son uses now. Granted, I only started to let him use it and only considered that even being an option once we were able to change our PSN ID name. So he doesn't have my old name. I won't even say it on here because it's that ridiculous. But so looking at my newer profile, which I started actually 11 years ago, and then before we get into like my top 10 most played games, I thought this was a kind of cool stat that I've played so far 712 games on it, which is nuts. And granted, I did buy a large amount of those, I'm sure, but then also with PlayStation Plus, like the higher version of it, it's kind of like Game Pass for the Xbox, but you get just a shitload of like free game catalog on there. So a bunch of those games came from that as well. But that stuff aside, here are my top 10 most played games on PlayStation dating back to the PS4. So number 10 is Dirt Rally 2, a super fun racing game. If you can see there in the background, I got my steering wheel thing, which I got specifically to play not Dirt, I don't know, did Dirt Rally 2 come out before Dirt 4? No, I think it came out second. Dirt Rally 1 came out before Dirt 4, and I played a shitload of that. But anyway, Dirt Rally 2 was number 10 at 150 hours. Dirt 4, which is a different series than like the Dirt Rally games. Dirt Rally is like the more realistic, and then the Dirt games are just the more, for fun, more arcadey feel type games. I have one more hour than in Dirt Rally 2, so in Dirt 4 I got 151 hours. Number 8 is really one of the best games ever made, easily, that being Hades. And so on PlayStation I have 233 hours, and actually have like way more than that on the Nintendo Switch, which it came out on Nintendo Switch before it came out on PlayStation. And I just needed that game so bad I bought it again when it came out on PlayStation to play it some more. But if you added my Switch hours on Hades to this, it's got to be at least 2, maybe 3 or 4 times that number. But anyway, I don't have those stats. Number 7 was Armored Core 6. Easily one of the funnest games ever made right there too. And some of these hours also included my kids play on my account. Not so much now anymore because they have their own accounts and stuff, but Armored Core 6, 277 hours total on that. Number 6 is not a very good game, but I just love Battlefield 3 so much that I sunk a lot of time into Battlefield 4, which is number 6, and that one has 359 hours. Number 5. This was my first roguelike, kind of hard to say which term to call it. I think it doesn't matter. I think they both basically mean the same thing. Anyway, in Dead Cells, I have 362 hours. Just Cause 3, one of the most fun games ever made again right there. That one has 427 hours. And then just because I was interested, I looked up when that game came out. It came out in 2015. And I still play the game nowadays. It's just that fun. Too bad Just Cause 4 sucked. Number 3, and this is definitely mostly my kids, is Minecraft. And so for this one, they break it out into the PS4 version and the PS5 version. So I just added them together. Still came in at number 3. So with the times added together on Minecraft, we had 797 hours. Then number 2, kind of embarrassed to say this because I kind of hate this game, but that's Call of Duty. And for this one too, they kind of cheat because they have all the games are like wrapped up into one. I believe dating back to Modern Warfare 2019, although I didn't play that game. I got back in on really one of the worst Call of Duty games ever made, Modern Warfare 2, and that was my, like, the remake of Modern Warfare 2. And that was my first time coming back to COD since Call of Duty World War II, which was like 2007, 2008 or something like that. But nonetheless, Call of Duty is a hell of an addictive game. It wrapped me back in. I played a bunch. So since Modern Warfare 2 all the way up to the current Black Ops 6, I have a total of 846 hours on that. And then number 1 is number 1 by a huge margin. I super loved this game. Too bad 2 sucked as well, or it didn't suck, but it wasn't nearly as good as 1. So my number 1 most played game by a lot is Destiny. That was such a good game. I can't believe they messed up 2 so bad. I do have high hopes that, you know, whenever 3 comes out, it's going to be amazing. But Destiny, the first game, I have 2,572 hours on that thing, which is nuts. But that game was really amazing. And so, yeah, that's it. That's my top 10 most played games on PlayStation. If any of you out there play PlayStation as well, or maybe even Xbox, I don't know if Xbox tracks this kind of data for you, and you want to share, I would like to know what your most played games were. Also, if you've ever played any of these games and you want to have a chat about it, drop that shit in the comments. I would love to go back and forth on them. But yeah, with that said, that's it. Until the next video, keep your video games legit.